Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something that's just so critical if you want to stop sounding like a textbook.
And start sounding like a real person.
Exactly. So our mission today is to pull out the most essential, high-frequency phrasal verbs. You know, those little two-word combinations that just roll off the tongue for native speakers.
Right.
And we want to show you how they basically structure your entire day.
And we're not just here to, give definitions. I mean, most learners know that a phrasal verb is a verb plus a particle, like look for.
Sure.
But what they really need to know is the difference between saying something like, I located my keys, which sounds so formal,
Very stiff.
and just saying, I looked for my keys.
Mm-hmm.
One is natural, the other is not. So we're really giving you a shortcut to that fluent, everyday English.
And we've organized everything chronologically. We're literally going to follow a typical day, so these verbs should hopefully stick instantly, and you'll be able to use them, well, right away.
Think of it this way. We're filling in those crucial gaps. The gaps between the, let's say, academic English you learn in the classroom and the real English people actually speak on the street.
Okay, let's start the day.
Yeah.
So the moment the alarm goes off, we hit our first, and I think often very confusing, distinction.
Ah, yes.
Wake up versus get up. I'll be honest, I still struggle with the get up part, especially on a Monday morning.
Hey, you and everyone else.
Yeah.
But this is so essential for beginners because they're not the same thing.
Yeah.
They're not interchangeable.
Right.
Wake up is, well, it's a mental state. It's just when your eyes open,
Yeah.
Your consciousness returns. You might wake up at 6 a.m.,
Mm-hmm.
but then you lie there for half an hour scrolling on your phone, refusing to actually engage with reality.
That scrolling period is exactly why get up is a totally separate and much harder action.
Precisely. Get up is the physical act. It means you are leaving the bed. You're putting your feet on the floor.
So if I say I got up at 6:30, that means my day really started then.
That's it. But if you say I woke up at 6:30, that just tells me when the noise started. It doesn't tell me when the work began.
That little nuance just changes the whole story. And okay, so once we're finally out of bed, the first thing we do is interact with technology.
Always.
And our source material highlights two really essential ones here, turn on and turn off.
These seem simple, but they introduce a really important grammar point, and that's separability.
Separability, okay.
You can say, I turn on the light, or you can say, I turn the light on. Both are perfectly correct. It's a separable phrasal verb.
So I can turn the alarm off or I can turn off the alarm. Okay. But what happens if I use a pronoun, like it, instead of the light or the alarm?
Great question. This is the key. If you use a pronoun, it has to go in the middle. The particle has to follow it.
So I have to say I turned it off.
You must. You can never say, I turned off it. That's a super common error, and it instantly flags you as a non-native speaker.
Right.
But it's such an easy rule to fix for turn on and turn off.
That is a real deep dive nugget right there. That's immediately useful.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're awake. The alarm is off. The light is turned on. Now the mental switch flips to productivity.
Yes, time for work or study.
So what are the absolute must-know action verbs for getting tasks done?
Well, the foundation for pretty much everything is write down. It just means to record something important, usually pretty quickly, so you don't forget it.
And you could say record or document, but
But you'd sound so stiff, so formal.
yeah, in a meeting, I'd never say, I need to transcribe that. I'd say, hang on, let me just write that down. It feels more urgent, more practical.
Exactly. It's a specific action, taking information and putting it on a surface. And then if you're working with other people, you have to master check-in.
Check-in feels so versatile. It can be for a formal meeting with your boss, or it could be, just a quick call to your family when you're traveling.
The context is everything. At work, if I say I need to check in with my supervisor, it means I'm giving a quick update. It signals efficiency.
But you can't separate this one, right?
No, you can't. Good point. You cannot check your supervisor in. That means something completely different, like at a hotel.
Right. It's an inseparable phrase.
And that brings us to maybe the most universal action of modern life. Look for.
Oh, constantly.
It just means searching. You might look for information online. You might look for a file.
I was going to say, if I had $1 for every time I had to look for my glasses this week, I'd be a very wealthy man.
We all would. The point for you, the listener, is to realize how often you do this. It is constant. We are always looking for something.
And it's another inseparable one, isn't it?
It is. You are looking for the object. The object can't go in the middle. You look for the keys. You don't look the keys for. And that really shows why you need to learn these as like single units of meaning.
That's brilliant. Okay, so we've covered the mental tasks, the digital tasks. Let's shift to the physical world. Let's talk about home organization, keeping our space from, descending into total chaos.
Right. And there's a clear sequence of actions here. We can start with the big general one, cleanup.
Clean up.
It means to tidy an entire area, like I need to clean up the kitchen. Simple enough.
But the real work is always in the details with individual things. The sources highlighted pick up and put away as two different steps.
Oh, it's a completely different. Pickup is just the upward motion, lifting something from the floor, from a table. If your shoes are on the floor, you pick them up.
And that one is separable. Pick up your clothes or pick your clothes up.
Yes. So step one is telling your kid, please pick up your toys.
So what's step two?
Step two is put away. This is crucial. It means placing something in its proper, correct storage place. You don't just put the toys somewhere. You put them away in the toy box on the shelf.
So put away has that sense of finality, of order being restored.
It does.
So if I pick up the mail from the floor but I just toss it on the counter, I haven't actually put it away. I've just moved the mess.
You've just shifted the clutter.
Exactly.
That tiny word, away, makes all the difference between being tidy and just moving things around. And it's separable, too. You put away the books or you put the books away.
Okay, as the day goes on, you inevitably you hit problems, interruptions, fatigue, life happens. So let's talk about managing pace and communication.
Well, the first one is just great advice in general. Slow down. It means reduce your speed, whether you're driving, working too fast, or even speaking.
It's so useful. If someone's speaking too quickly, the most polite way to ask them to adjust is just, could you slow down a bit?
Exactly. And it applies to your mental state, too. A friend might tell you, you seem overwhelmed. Just slow down. Take a breath. It works as an idiom for reducing life's intensity.
And then we get into direct communication, the big one being callback.
Absolutely essential. It means to return a phone call. It's just basic courtesy in professional and personal life. You see a missed call, you call them back.
The word back here is about returning the action, not a physical direction.
Precisely. And in today's world, we can't ignore the digital gatekeepers. That brings us to log in.
Which is how you get into everything. Your email, your bank, your work portal, everything requires you to log in.
And notice it's usually followed by to. You log into the system. That's a fixed phrase. And then the opposite, when you leave, is log out or log off.
You use these combinations dozens of times a day.
You do. And nobody says, I need to authenticate my credentials. It just shows the huge gap between textbook English and real fluent English.
The day is finally winding down. We've written things down, checked in, cleaned up. Now it is time for the evening routine.
We could start with those simple physical transition actions. You come home, you take off your shoes, you take off your coat.
And then you probably sit down to relax.
Hopefully.
And take off is another one of those great separable verbs. You can say, I took my coat off. But I think the most important verb here, maybe for mental health, is wind down.
I completely agree. Wind down is such a great phrase. It means to relax slowly, deliberately, after you've been busy or stressed. It's a gradual process.
Right, you don't just stop.
No, you wind down. You might wind down with a book or with some quiet music. It describes that process of deactivating your brain for the night.
It really does. It's a perfect description.
And then the last few things before sleep. It's basically the reverse of the morning. You turn off the computer, you turn off the lights.
Remembering our separability rules, of course.
Of course. And the very last action, preparing for the whole cycle to start again.
You have to set up the alarm.
Yes. Set up. It means to prepare something so it's ready to be used. You set up the alarm, maybe you set up the coffee machine for the morning. It's the ultimate planning verb. It locks in the next day before you finally go to sleep and eventually wake up again. So that whole journey through the day really shows how useful these little combinations are. Let's quickly recap the main takeaways for you.
We really went beyond just definitions. We focus on the structural rules.
Right.
Like the critical difference between the mental act of wake up and the physical act of get up. And for work, how using write down instead of record is key to sounding natural.
And we established that so many of these useful verbs, turn on, turn off, pick up, put away, are separable. But, and this is the key rule, with a pronoun, it must go in the middle, turn it off.
But then others, like the social ones, check in or look for.
Those are inseparable. You have to learn them as a single chunk.
And when you're tidying up, knowing the difference between picking something up, just lifting it and putting it away, storing it properly, is the difference between a clean room and, well, a mess.
These verbs, wake up, get up, turn on, write down, look for, clean up, call back, and wind down. They really are the foundation. If you focus on just these, you're already moving past that stiff, formal language.
The power of these small combinations is just immense. We've seen how they structure your entire day, from when you set up your alarm to when you finally wind down. And understanding just a few of these rules helps you describe your world with, well, with real fluency.
It really does.
So here's a final thought for you to take away. We talked about log in and log out. What other essential digital actions that you do every day, like downloading a file or uploading a photo, are also phrasal verbs? And more importantly, are they separable or inseparable? That's something for you to explore until our next deep dive.